Good evening and welcome to Haunted Homemaking. So, recently I did a bit of woodworking. I made this beautiful Uchiwa fan adorned with a bat motif handle and gorgeous pink mulberry paper. Whether hot or cold weather, to complete an outfit or the occasional funeral, this accessory is fun and functional. If you want to take a peek at how I made this fan, I hope you stick around. Thank you for letting me be your haunted homemaker, and let's get started.
I'm trying to eat lunch and I can't get this stupid jar.
Robert?
I can't get this soup jar open. It's impossible.
Let me try.
You're not going to be able to get it. I tried like 100 times. Uh, uh, how'd you do that?
I guess I'm just stronger than you.
Heck no.
Before I even think about getting my claws on some woodworking tools and using an Uchiwa fan I already have to reference, I sketched a quick design of what I want my fan to look like. I know I want a gorgeously Gothic bat motif for the handle, with bat wings coming up to hug the larger paper fan parts. Surprisingly, I don't want anything too intricate to save my sanity when carving, and because it's a hand fan, I want something comfortable to grip. With my design roughly illustrated, I carefully cut it out as a pattern. Now there is a more traditional way to create an Uchiwa fan skillfully using bamboo, but because my design is literally a large bat, my options are a bit limited. My pattern is made up of large simplified shapes, so I'm tracing it onto a large wooden board. If this pattern was more intricate, I'd prefer to temporarily attach the pattern to my board for cutting, just to be precise. But tracing is a fine option for someone who does not want to get up to look for an adhesive. That would be me. Using my scroll saw, I carefully cut out my handle. I'm cutting out two layers for my pattern, the handle with the bat and just the bat. This is to create the dimension we need so that's not just a flat handle, which can get a bit boring. Nothing like sawdust in the air. I suggest a mask always when woodworking. It's essential. With my wood pieces all cut out, I use wood glue to attach everything and use something heavy to put on top while drying. Something heavy like feeling unworthy of love unless you excel at everything. Now that's heavy. Or you could use woodworking clamps. You get the gist. A day or two later, the wood glue is dry enough to handle. Now I'll be the first ghoul to admit that my layers are not exactly even. Not a problem. I can use my scroll saw to cut off any excess or sand with my Dremel tool. Using a variety of fancy carving tools, I'm carving out details in the wings and body. I'm really just carving out the larger shapes and saving the small details for sculpting. I'm not too confident in carving smaller details, but I hope to get there someday. Details like hollowing a bit of the wing creates interesting movement, while still maintaining the simplicity of my design. What I want to avoid is carving anything that crowds my design too much. My handle is almost done and ready to stain, but first I have a few more details to add to really give it the magic it deserves. In a previous woodworking episode, I had mentioned that I prefer to sculpt rather than subtracting by carving. Using 2-part wood putty, I'm filling in any dents and dings in the wood and sculpting a small little face for my bat. Here, I'm adding just a fun swirl at the end of my handle. It takes just a few hours for the wood putty to harden, but once fully cured, can handle sanding, carving, and even staining. I love this stuff. Traditionally, to create the skeleton of the Uchiwa fan where the paper sits, you would split bamboo into sections and secure them. I do not have that option, so I'm using flat reed to create the skeleton. To uncurl the reed, I soak in hot water for about 20 minutes, then let dry under a heavy weight. You'll have nice straight reed sections the next day ready to use. Using wood glue, I attach my flat reed to the back of my handle, making sure to reference my existing Uchiwa fan for size and spacing. Now it's time to stain, which is one of my favorite parts about this project, or really any woodworking project. We get to see all of our carving and sculpting come together, but in color. Using an English chestnut finish, I generously brush the stain to the entirety of my piece. As per product directions, I leave on for a good amount of time and wipe off, repeating as desired. Once my piece is as saturated as I want it, I brush a satin polyurethane over everything to seal and strengthen, and wait to cure.
Wow, Bobby, when did you get so interested in physical fitness?
I'm just trying to get into better shape, get a little swole. What exercise should we do first?
We could start with push-ups.
Alright, so how do you do it?
You lie down on the floor and you push up. Push up. Push up. Push up.
I'm trying. This is way too hard. Is there a modified version of this?
You could try sitting on your knees.
I don't have any knees.
Okay, let's try something else. Let's try sit-ups.
I guess we could try that.
Up. Sit up. Up.
Oh man, this is hard. Is there a modified version of this one?
Nope.
What about those weights over there? Can we lift some of those?
Okay. Let's do some curls.
Do we have any lighter weights?
No.
Oh, forget it. You know, I've been giving this some thought, and maybe I don't need to get in shape. I always got my smarts. Thanks anyway, though, Jackie.
Okay.
I'm gonna go play video games.
Bye.
Everything is cured and dry to the touch, which is very important. And now it's time to put the paper to my paper fan. The paper of choice is a beautiful pink mulberry, which I think will look so stunning with the wood finish. Using my existing Uchiwa fan as a reference for the size and shape, I carefully cut the mulberry to fit my skeleton. Using rice glue, I brushed the adhesive to both surfaces, sticking them together to the skeleton and creating the fan. The really neat thing about rice glue is that it's strong enough to adhere the mulberry paper to my wooden skeleton, but also reversible with water to reactivate. So that means if I really wanted to, I could change the design or color of my fan, and how convenient is that? The final few steps is using a decorative washi tape to seal the edges of the paper and drilling a small hole to attach a tassel to the end of the handle. Now we finally have our finished Uchiwa fan. With the perfect accessory finished, I can rest soundly knowing that I can fan myself on a hot summer's day. I had so much fun making this, and I learned a lot in the process. Now, for a hand fan, it is a tad long, but that's not a problem when you have someone fan it for you.